up, family? It's your boy Clifton Brantley, back for another Random Thought Thursday. Listen, man, I was sitting here at my desk and I was having some random thoughts, and so I want to share them with you today. By the way, if this is your first time watching me record these, I encourage you to go to Apple to listen to the actual podcast because it's good. Okay? So the podcast is good. It's on Apple Podcasts. Just search my name. The name of the podcast is Mastering Love and Life with Clifton Brantley. So today's episode is sponsored by nobody. So check this out. So I was thinking, as I was sitting here studying, I was thinking about how much we applaud children when they are learning to walk. No matter how many times they fail, we encourage them to get up and keep going. So like when a baby is starting to walk, we never get upset with how many times they fail, how many times they're unsuccessful and have to try again. We focus more on the fact that they are trying again more than their failure. But when it comes to our partner, we focus more on their continuous failure as opposed to how many times they get up again and try after they fail. I think that's interesting. Like, for example, and I made a post today on, I believe it was on Facebook this morning, and this is what I said. Imagine your wife never learned how to show affection the way that you like it. But she's grown to the place to where she can show this affection 30% of the time. But other times she fails. You're more likely to be frustrated by her failing than encouraging her about her not quitting and trying it again. Does that make sense to you? So she's trying to learn how to be affectionate because you need that. She didn't grow up learning that. Just like the child did not come here knowing how to walk. So as she's trying to learn it, she's not doing it perfectly. So she's failing 70% of the time. But your frustration is in the fact that she keeps failing, as opposed to your encouragement and excitement at the fact that she is not giving up. And that can be applied across the board to many aspects. It can be applied to when a husband is trying to be successful in a business, or somebody trying to stop lying. Now, that one is difficult. I understand. But if we take into consideration, which we often don't, how people are raised. Now, this is not an excuse for bad behavior, but if we take into consideration the way someone is raised, you can be raised. There is a situation where a child can be raised where they are more prone to lie than tell the truth. And then as they become an adult, they may still have this habit, and they may know at this point, hey, this is something I need to break, but have been unable to. And why they're unable to, that's a different story. But let's just assume they hadn't been able to conquer that yet. They get in a relationship with you. Yes, I agree they shouldn't be in a relationship until they fix that. But life don't happen that way, right? So they're in a relationship with you, and they say, you know what, I'm going to work on this lying thing. Because I lie for no reason. I just make up stories for no reason. But I'm going to work on it. Instead of you being excited and encouraging them for getting back up when they fail, we're more likely to be more likely to be frustrated because they're not meeting the standard that we've set. But you set a standard for your child to walk, and they keep failing. and you have all this patience, you would be frustrated. As a matter of fact, you'd be frustrated with the child if they decided, I'm not going to try anymore. But with your partner, the fact that they keep trying is what's frustrating you, because they're not perfect at it up front. And I'm not condemning you necessarily for that. I'm really just trying to bring awareness to how we operate. And there are some of you who I do want to encourage to extend more grace to your partner, because what they're failing at more than likely has nothing to do with you at all. Like the fact that your child is trying to walk and they keep falling down, it has nothing to do with you. Nothing at all. In the same way, when your partner keeps failing at whatever it is, it can be their own business, keeping their word, or how they treat you. It has nothing to do with you. Now, it may affect you. It definitely will affect you differently. Well, it'll affect you differently than your child not walking. But your child not walking, if they never get it, or let's say it takes them 4 or 5 years, eventually that's going to affect you too, right? But just because it affects you does not mean that it is about you. And so because it is not about you, I want to encourage you to do the work to support them in your frustration. Okay? Don't put that burden on them to make your life how it should be. As a matter of fact, maybe this is an opportunity for you to grow in grace, to grow in your patience. I look at it that way. That was just a random thought that I had this morning. I had another one. And I'm gonna share this one with you. So I was downstairs fixing my breakfast, and I was thinking about belief and the things that we believe in and what we believe is possible. And here's what I realized. Now, this is not a new revelation. Like, I've heard this before. However, when I was thinking about it today, for whatever reason, it resonated with me in a way that it had not before. The reason that you have to keep believing in the possibility of your dreams, your goals, or whatever, is because when you don't believe it's possible, you'll quit. When you don't believe it's possible, you won't even try. Think about it, just in the natural. If you believe that it is impossible for water to quench your thirst, you'd never drink water. Oh, that's too unrealistic. I can't make my mind stretch that far. Let's get something realistic. Okay. Before there were airplanes, people did not believe it was possible to fly. And so guess what? Nobody tried to fly. And then when people started believing it was possible, they started trying. The reason they did not give up, the reason the Wright brothers didn't give up, is because no matter how much they failed, they believed it was possible. And here's what I'm saying, because this is where I used to get stuck too. So let me try to make this more plain. The fact that I believe it's possible means that I don't have a valid reason to not keep trying, right? I'm not saying that if I believe it's possible, I'm going to keep trying, because that's not necessarily true. But if I believe that it is possible, then I at least have the wherewithal, the possibility to keep trying. If I don't believe it's possible, I don't have the ability to try. I don't believe it's possible to take my life and then come back to life. Like, for me to do that, for me to lay down my life and pick it back up, as Jesus said. I don't believe it's possible for me to do that. So guess what I'm never going to do? I'm never going to try that, because I don't believe it's possible. But in the same way, when you have dreams and goals, if you don't believe it's possible, you're not going to try. And so, in essence, you make it a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you don't believe that it is possible for your marriage to get better, you won't work at it. If you don't believe that it is possible for your marriage to survive, you're going to quit. It's really that simple. Belief and possibilities. So I want to encourage you. If you believe it, as a matter of fact, let me say this first. I don't believe that it is possible to believe in the impossible. Yeah. I don't believe that it's possible to believe in the impossible. Here's what I mean. Going back to the Wright brothers, before, say, like, let's say in the 1500s, to those people, I presume they thought it impossible to fly in any kind of way, plane, wings, whatever, impossible to fly. And so guess what? They never did. They never tried. I'm assuming, like, I don't have history back then, but I tried to go back far enough where it's more than likely they did not believe that that was possible. So they thought that they were believing, like if someone believed that they could fly, or if someone said, hey, in the 1500s, hey, you know what? I think we can build something to make us fly. If everybody else did not believe that that was possible, they wouldn't believe it. And so the fact that the person who is believing in the impossible, obviously it was not impossible because here we are flying. Am I making sense? I felt like that was kind of not clear. So let me say it again, or a different way. What we think is impossible are things that we have thought were impossible, but someone has done it, proved that it was never impossible. It was just a matter of time. Like running a mile under 4 minutes. I think his name was Banneker. I can't remember who. There was a time when we humans did not believe that it was possible to run a mile in under 4 minutes, until one person did it. When one person did it, now high schoolers run a mile in less than a minute. I mean, not a minute. I want to see that, brother or sister, in less than 4 minutes. So it was never impossible. And that's why we were able to believe in it. So here's what I'm saying. Like, things that are truly, truly impossible, you're not going to believe in it. And someone can prove me wrong. This is a random thought, but I just don't believe that we can believe in things that are impossible. So the importance of that is this: if you believe it, then it's probably possible, no matter how outlandish it is. You know what? I make $20,000 a year now, but by this time next year, I will have $5 million. That may sound impossible to everybody else, but the fact that you believe it means that it's possible. Now, are you going to make it? Don't know. But your belief in the possibility is can drive you to make it happen. Whereas if you did not believe it were possible, and I know these examples I'm giving are crazy, but I hope you can connect. Like, I don't believe it's possible for me to be physically inside of my camera right now. So that's not something I'll ever try. Let me think of a more. But that is realistic, though. My point is, it's impossible. And so that leads me to another random thought. Everything that I could think of as an example, as far as impossibility, the reason it don't make sense because you already know it's impossible. You know what I'm saying? So the point is, be careful about believing that your life being better than it is not possible. Now, it may be difficult. And sometimes we can talk ourselves out of pursuing our dreams and goals because it's too hard, but being too hard versus being something being too hard and determining that I can't, those two are not the same thing. Something hard for me to do and something that I cannot do, I'm going to interact with those two thoughts differently. So I want to encourage you to make sure that you believe that better is possible. And when it comes to the things of God, like walking on water, I don't believe that it is possible for me to walk on water. So it's something I would never try. I can't even fathom it in my mind, even though Jesus did it. But what that tells me about God is there are things that I believe are impossible for me, so I'll never try it. But I believe is possible for God, so I'll believe him for it. So if you don't believe that it is possible for your God to answer your prayers, you won't pray. If you pray, you have to believe at some level. You believe something is possible. I don't know what you believe in, but if you're praying, you got to believe something. And I'm just making the point of not giving up the possibility, like keeping in your mind. So as I was thinking about this morning, what resonated in my mind was years ago when I heard Les Brown, the first time I heard him say, you got to believe it's possible. Is it going to happen? I don't know if it's going to happen, but it's possible. And the fact that it's possible means I have something in me to encourage me to keep going. Because when I believe it's not possible, I quit. And I don't care what it is. If I believe it is not possible to learn a new language, I'm not going to study a new language. I'm not finna try to do the impossible. And the things that we do that someone somewhere has deemed impossible, the fact that we got it done proves that that was not impossible. In 1960, I imagine there's no way they would believe that the Apple iPhone is possible. But if somebody back then did believe it, the proof would be today. Obviously, it was possible because we have it. I hope I'm making sense. So, and then I got one more random thought. This one is important. I need all of you husbands especially husbands, to pay attention to this one. So my wife told me last night that Beyonce is coming to town. And immediately, I got the quivers. Immediately, I got nervous. Immediately, my life flashed before my eyes. Why? Because I have a wife, and that's Beyonce. Now, I really don't have to explain that to you, but I will. So in my situation, my wife has never seen Beyonce. Last time Beyonce came, wife didn't go. Beyonce haven't toured in 100 years. Now she comes to her hometown. It doesn't matter if, and I've been seeing this online, it doesn't matter if the rent is late, if the car ain't paid. I would, maybe not my wife, but I would even presume that some folk ain't gonna pay their tithe so they can save up the money to go see Beyonce. So here's the thing. Here's what I'm gonna do. Now, I know I got to come up with the money for my wife. Like, I mean, it is what it is. I want to be a husband. Nobody told me. Nobody told me that this was going to be a part of husbandry, but I mean, I get it. But as a businessman, as a therapist, here's what I'm going to do. I am about to increase my prices because Beyonce is about to increase my clientele. Y'all not working with me. She's about to increase my clientele because some of you brothers are some of you brothers are either going to be trifling or labeled trifling, and you're going to need some help. I'm telling you, you're going to need some help. So I already know. I think I heard the tickets come out on the 6th. I ain't even look it up. You know why? Because me sitting in front of the computer trying to get one of those tickets, and actually I vowed to buy 2 because I got screws loose. I don't know what I was thinking, but I made the commitment. Now I'm gonna buy 2, one for my wife and whatever friend she want to take. So for me to sit there trying to catch these tickets so I can get 2 of them, I believe it's pointless, because here's what I believe. All of the third-party ticket sale places right now, they are getting business loans because they don't have enough revenue to buy all the tickets like they want. So they're getting business loans so that when the tickets drop, they can buy all of them and then sell them at 10 times the price. So I'm already expecting to pay 2 arms and 2 legs. But some of you brothers, and I'll be honest with you, I hope I ain't on this list. That I hope I don't have to counsel myself. But some of y'all are going to be in trouble. Some of y'all are going to be in trouble because from what I've seen and from what I know, right, I cannot think of an excuse that you can give that would be adequate to explain to your wife why she's not in there talking about all the single ladies. Yeah, like you, I don't care how married she is, she's going to be singing all the single ladies. She's going to be singing to the left. If your wife is not in the room, my work number is 832-562-0482. You can text me, call me, schedule a consult, or you can go to the website at betterfamilynow.com and fill out the little thing, pay the $50, and we can do a consultation. You can do a pre-consultation before September because if you miss those tickets, you're in for a year long of side eyes and attitudes. Man, I'm telling you, don't miss this. Now, so just to be transparent about my situation, I believe I may be under the gun more than most folk, most husbands. Why? Because not only is Beyonce from Houston, we live in Houston, not only has my wife never seen Beyonce in concert, but September is her birthday month. So I have no excuses. There's nothing I would be able to say. And this is February. There's nothing I'll be able to say. You mean to tell me you ain't getting no tickets? Like, they got poles everywhere. You ain't gonna get on a pole. They got corners everywhere. You ain't gonna sell nothing. You got, like, you wasn't online every day hustling trying to get clients. You mean to tell me I can't go see Beyonce? Yeah, I'm not going through that. I don't know what I gotta do. Lord, my prayer is that you send the clients so I don't have to step outside of your will to get this money. I'm kidding. I'm not doing that. But man, so that's my PSA for you. Listen, don't lose my information, because I'm telling you, if you don't get those tickets, you're going to need my help. And honestly, yeah, you're going to need my help. So just, don't let this opportunity pass for you to. And I don't care if your lady has seen Beyonce every time she came, you still gonna be in trouble if you don't get those tickets. I'm telling you. Okay, so let this be your warning that you got to get on the good foot. I don't even want to imagine what I would have to do to make up for that. Like I can't, I don't even want to process that. I don't want to process that. But listen, here's how you get the tickets. You got to believe it's possible. You got to believe it's possible for you to come up with this amount of money in this amount of time. Because if you believe it's not possible, you might end up in divorce court. Those are my random thoughts for Thursday. I hope you guys have a blessed day, blessed weekend. Catch me on next Monday for a new episode of Mastering Love and Life with Clifton Brantley.